to Sheryl Roberts.
Hi, Dionne.
Hi. So, can I share how we met?
Yes, please do.
So, what I remember at a women's empowerment event, I remember the speaker, was in full force, but then all of a sudden, this woman walks into the space with such grace, such confidence exuded from this woman, and her fashion was out of control. So I'm like, I need to meet this woman. You had on a spearmint green librarian tie neck blouse, a printed fur coat. I mean, I remember it was about 2 years ago.
Coat. Yeah.
So I can tell you your exact look till this day. But I said, I'm going to need to meet this woman. I couldn't wait for the speaker to actually finish to go and have a chat with you.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And then I remember introducing myself, and you were very gracious.
Yeah,
and I said, I would love to. Yeah. And I said, I'd love to collaborate with you one day.
Yep.
About a year later, I had this awards event to go to. And I said, I don't want to look regular. I said, I want to look, do something really special for that night. And I remember you invited us into your home. I was going through the racks, and you had your edit. I had mine. Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was the last look.
Yeah. And the thing was, it looked so good on you. I did not know I didn't know you were going to get engaged and be hugging because your thing kept unsnapping, and I was just like, oh no.
But who knew?
I was just like, oh my gosh. But it was really beautiful. It was a beautiful outfit.
Gosh.
But that snap, it just kept coming under.
Wow. So for those who don't know, my nonprofit was being recognized at an awards event, and it turned out to be an epic surprise engagement in front of 300 people. And when I launched into the yes, there goes the back of the dress. But I have to say, where does a small town girl born and raised in Texas, right, develop such a keen sense of style, who's able just to hone in? I mean, I would have never chosen that dress. And I remember you stood for it. You said, Dionne, try it on.
Yeah, it's so good on you. It was like, it literally fit you just perfectly. And it was so unique and so different. I just thought it was really beautiful. And like, for me, I don't know, I grew up in like such a very strict household. So fashion was not something that it wasn't anything that was discussed. It wasn't like a part of our lives. It was literally school and work and church. And so I guess that fashion played a role as far as church, because at one time my mother definitely dressed to the nines, but fashion in Texas is totally different. It's really matchy-matchy. It's about matching your gloves and your pocketbook, because they call it a pocketbook. You gotta match your pocket. Yep, here's my purse, my pocketbook, and your shoes, all of that kind of stuff, and your hat, all of that had to match. It wasn't until I started modeling that I started to, gradually gain an interest. I would go to castings in like sweats, and my agent would have to say, honey, you have to start dressing like a model. And I'd be like, well, aren't they just booking me based on my book? And they'd like, no, you have to walk in. So that's kind of where I learned like presentation.
Okay.
But then I kept it simple. But then I think like after a while, I just was so anti-fashion. Even though I was a model, I was anti-fashion. I just felt like, why is all this stuff so expensive? But I still just felt like it should be more accessible, because I felt like fashion was only for rich, either really old women or really young girls, because those are the people that they put in the ads, which was so weird to me that they put a 14-year-old in an ad for like something like Givenchy or something. You know what I mean? I just thought it was weird. So that's when I started like getting back into like my roots of like shopping and doing vintage, because when I was growing up we didn't have a lot of money, so my mother would drag me to all kinds of like garage sales, estate sales, tag sales, you know what I mean, like just anything like that. She loved that kind of stuff, and I hated it. I just wanted to be regular and normal and wear regular stuff. But then as I got older, it all came back to me, and that's when I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. So that's when I started doing like sustainable thrifting, vintage. That like became my life, and now that's probably like 90% of my wardrobe is thrifted.
Yeah. Wow. And man,
thrifted or vintage.
Well, right?
Yep.
I guess walk us through that transition from modeling to social entrepreneur? Because your vintage store is not just about fashion. There is a social mission behind it.
Yes.
And was that an easy transition for you?
I modeled for a really long time. I modeled for 30 years. So the transition from it was easy in that I knew that I was tired of doing it. But the transition into the store was a little different. It actually really all happened, like, honestly, very organically, because I was still modeling and I knew I didn't want to model anymore. So the one thing that I knew is that every time I walked out of my house, even when I went to shoots, people would ask me what I was wearing. Like, where'd you get it? How can I get it? Can you find something like that for me? So it resonated with me when I was trying to figure out what to transition and do.
Right.
And so I was like, you know what? Maybe like that would be something that I would be interested in. So I just would go to flea markets and just sell periodically when I wasn't shooting or something like that. And it was really a hobby. It wasn't really like a career. But then as I began going through my divorce, because I had a long divorce, that's another story, I needed money like at that time. And I was like, and I knew I didn't want to continue to model. So that's when I started doing it in my house. And I made a game plan for myself. Like, okay, I'm going to do this in my house and invite my friends and tell them to invite their friends. I'll do it on the weekend, every other weekend. But that was good because I did it for 2 years and it helped me like have a proof of concept and figure out my customer and my price point and refine everything. And then when the opportunity came, somebody called me and they said, oh, we're opening a shop in 3 weeks. Would you like to be a part of it? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, well, you got a day to think about it. And I thought about it and I was like, you know what, why not? It was a small space in someone else's shop, which was great because I had never run a business. So it was cool because I went in, I built my space out and it was really tiny. And that's another way that I learned. I did that for 2 years. Right. That 2 years helped me to refine and decide what I really wanted to do. And in that 2 years, that's when I knew I wanted my own brick and mortar, but that I wanted to give other people the opportunity to do the same thing that I did. Come into a space collectively where it's all about like small businesses, small brands, small business, and small makers, you know what I mean? Just to help gain visibility and help them to refine what they're doing, you know what I mean? And then move on from me and, go on to do their own thing. So that's what I did. And now I'm here.
I love it. I mean, what I heard was you listened to the signs and the wonders, right?
Yep.
If something keeps coming up, everybody keeps telling you the same thing, you might want to peek under the hood there. So you did.
People think it's all about shopping and buying this stuff, and it's not. It literally is about the person. It's about finding the right person for the right garment. And when they put that on their bodies, like the confidence and the way that they feel, and it transforms them, like that's what like gives me life.
Oh, well, stop right there because that's where we're going.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
You got me excited, but that's where I want to go next.
Okay.
So here you are, you've had this illustrious career, right? So for those who don't know, Sheryl Roberts traveled the world working for some of the top designers, okay? She has graced the covers of Essence, Ebony, Heart and Soul. You have over 80 commercials as an actress under her belt. Worked with big brands like Dove, Crest, Southwest Airlines. I could go on. Business owner. Yeah. You're a mother.
Yeah.
I mean, with all and I can go on, but with all of that, right? What when you go in, and I think I heard it, but we're gonna go really go inward here.
Okay.
What truly gives you life?
First of all, my son, he's a senior in college. He's graduating actually in December. He's my biggest joy because he's my biggest accomplishment. He's like a really amazing young man, and he's a good person.
That also says a lot about you, my dear.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think that like he gives me the most joy because when he was growing up, he had the least amount of confidence. He didn't want to do sports. I had to make him do sports. And then he ended up getting a scholarship in college for football. Like when he was growing up, he had a learning disability and he hated school. Hated school. I had to pull him out. I had to put him in special ed school, and then I had to get him tutors and a whole bunch of stuff. But I knew that it wasn't that he wasn't smart. He just learned differently. So it like took all those years to like get him to know that. And then once he did, he matriculated back into regular school, and now he's in college and he's got like a 3.2. You know what I mean? So like for me, that's like a joy, because I'm like watching him succeed like that. It's just like so amazing. So that, my family, my friends, those things are really like the most important thing to me. And then I think after that, my business, because my business isn't just for me. It's definitely my main source of income, so I need it to survive. But I feel like the same way I need my business, I feel like other people as well need it in a way. It's like we thrive off of each other, because it literally is my passion to have people come in and to be in a happy place. When people come into my store, it's never about trying to sell them anything. I could care less if people buy stuff. I mean, eventually I know they will, but I want people to come in and have like a good feeling when they come in. I want them to be able to come in and shop without feeling pressured. I want them to know that if they're getting an opinion from me, they're getting an opinion from an expert, and that it's an honest opinion. I'm never going to tell somebody that they look good in something when they don't, just to sell them something. But if they really like it, even if it's ill-fitting, I'm like, well, girl, listen, if you like that dress and the pockets are all puckering, honey, get it and go and wear it and do it. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm not, it's about no judgment. You know what I mean? Like, that really is how I think fashion in general should be. And not just fashion, because the store is not just fashion. It's lifestyle, it's home decor, it's everything. It's about being an individual. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I'm just now at 53 learning to be my best self. I'm just now coming into like the best me. And it's because I'm the most authentic I've ever been in my whole freaking life right now. And that's all I want. I just want people to be the same. I want the vendors and entrepreneurs that are in the store, you know what I mean, to find their passion and, you know, align with what it is they're meant to be doing. And I want the people that are coming in and purchasing those things to feel that when they're buying it, you know, to feel that they're helping a small brand and to feel really special. You know what I mean? Like, so those are things that like just really give me joy, I think.
I've experienced the magic of coming into your boutique, and yes, it's about the beautiful pieces and discovering, but then it's also about how you bring people together and how collaborations happen to take place. And it was just a couple of weeks ago, I was here in your store. The vibes are always right. The music is just always on point. And I remember we were talking, just catching up, and then there was another young lady just ear hustling. And from that, you know, she's like, oh, you're a life coach? I'm looking for one
a life
right
coach.
now.
Exactly.
And that sparked another conversation. And yes, I love the fact you're about bringing people together. It's about collaboration.
It's connecting people. I might not know how to make it, but I think what people like. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, when I see something that I think like will resonate with my customer, because I feel like I know my customer, I jump on it. I'm on it. I'm on it.
All right. So, fellow foodie, favorite restaurant, favorite food.
Okay. I eat everything. I will eat with my fingers and have Ethiopian food. I just went to this really great restaurant in the city a week ago called Casa La Femme, which is an Egyptian restaurant. Like, I eat everything. There's not one thing that I like the most. And so I don't necessarily even have like one favorite restaurants. I have like go-to spots for different things, but not like I don't have one particular restaurant, because literally I think you can find some dope food on the street. Like, I know a guy that sells food on the street, and that joint is hopping. Like, right on the street corner, you just walk up and get your food. You know what I mean? Like, so you can get food in like a dive spot, real Queen and Slim style, just like sliding up in the cut, or you can go to like a really fancy schmancy place, like a La Bernardine, or like a Pastis, or like some, whatever. All these really fine dining, hip restaurants, Beauty and Essex, and all those kind of spots. Sometimes we go, it's not for the food, it's for the ambiance. You know what I mean? Like, you just want to be in the mix of something, and you want to just feel good. And the food might be okay, but maybe the drinks are popping. Sometimes you just want some good food. And when you do, it's like, okay. You go and you find that spot. Like, sometimes you're gonna go and know you're not gonna have the best service. Sometimes you're gonna go and it's not gonna be like, like the most beautiful spot. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people know how to cook, but they don't know about decor. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times have you gone to a plain tablecloth place or someplace that doesn't even have one? You know what I mean? They might not give you a napkin. They might not even say hello to you. They might just give you your food and shush you on. But that food will be so good, you don't even care. You know what I mean? You just come back again because you know what I mean? It's like, it's not, sometimes it's not about that. It's just about the experience of it. Sometimes the best food is like food that you make at your house and then you take it to the beach. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just about the experience of it. That's the thing about food to me. It's about the experience of like,
it's so true.
Trying new things.
I mean, I'll never forget. This is actually a business dinner. You know, as usual, customary, you take your boss out to dinner.
Right.
We're in New York, right? And I've never heard someone say, you know, I don't really enjoy food.
I have a friend.
It broke my heart.
I know. I have a friend that says the same thing. She says, I eat to live.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, I live to eat. We're opposites.
Yes.
And I went to Paris with her. I will never, and I love her too. She might watch this and she knows who she is. I will never travel with her again because we went to Paris and she would not go to one restaurant with me. Not one restaurant would she go to. She's like, it's a waste. I'll just eat whatever. I'm like, what? We're in Paris.
Right?
It's blasphemous.
You took the words out of my mouth. It's not normal. But anyways.
But you know, hey, each to his own.
To each his own.
Exactly.
In one word, how would you describe your journey?
If I had to do one word, it would be perseverance.
Nice.
Or persistence. You know what I mean? Actually, yeah, it would be persistence over perseverance because the persistence is what allows you to persevere, I think. Like that persistence of like hearing no, or you can't do this, or you're not pretty enough, or, you know, who do you think you are? That persistence is what has gotten me through like so many points in my life, like low points where like literally it's like you're at the cliff. It's like your feet are coming off, but somehow you get pulled back. You know what I mean? Like that persistence is like what's gotten me through, for sure.
Well, just keep the faith.
Yeah.
Keep the momentum going.
Yeah, but do the work.
Do the work, right?
You got to do the work.
Yes.
So many people want the fame or they want the accolades or they want the business, but they want it from like being on Instagram for 5 minutes and buying 20,000 followers and getting 100 likes from, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's not like that. Like you have to put in the work. It's not going to be given to you. I was just having this conversation with you about my interns that want to come to work when they want to come to work. I'm like, that is not how you become successful. You have to become successful, you have to be willing to open the boxes. You have to be willing to come in on your day off. You have to be willing to come to work when you're supposed to come to work.
Right. Simple stuff.
Simple stuff.
Simple stuff to me.
You gotta work hard. Yeah. Take some initiative.
You had shared with me how you've reinvented your business again.
Over and over. I have reinvented myself a million times, and I've reinvented this business just since I've been doing it no less than like 7, 8, 9 times, because I realized you have to have multiple streams of income. Now I have 2 e-commerce sites, not one, I have 2, and I have the store, and I've diversified into doing like my own separate thing that's separate from the store. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like now,
now, so if this is down for a bit, you've got something separate.
Yeah,
that's unaffected.
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, it's really, really important, especially as people of color, like to not depend on that one job, because that one job might let you go a couple of days before you're ready for your retirement, and then you won't get your stuff. You know what I mean? You just never know. People don't want to pay you. People are easy to like be like, oh, we don't need you anymore. People are easy to downsize. So like, you really have to like be the type of person that's like, okay, listen, this is not working right now, so we got to make this work. If you're a good baker, you better get in there and make some cakes to make some money. You know what I mean?
You
or whatever.
Like my main man, Steve Harvey.
Listen, you got to do. It's like whatever you have to do.
Miss Calendar made pie. I'll never forget what he said.
That's
she
it.
Made pie.
That's it. You know what I mean? But that's what it is. It's like, what do you do? What can you do? What do people love from you? What do you bring to people? If you make people laugh, you might want to tell some jokes. I don't know what it is. I can't speak it for you, but I'm just saying, especially in this day and age with the way that the world is going, like, yeah, you have to like figure out like what makes you happy. What is that you really want to be doing on this earth, because tomorrow is not promised and you better get to doing it.
Let me tell you, I think I'll end right here because I think you nailed it. And this is Chadwick Boseman's wife. Literally just read an article on the way here who said, take your time, but don't waste your time.
Yes, that's good. Take your
you.
time, but don't waste your time. Yeah, and don't waste my time.
I don't. So what's next?
What is next for the collective at Indigo Style? Well, right now we're in the process of bringing in more brands, because right now our collective has about 38 different small brands, all people of color, with the exception of 2 or 3, and we've been expanding. So that is really exciting, because by the time we're finished by Christmas, by holiday season, we'll have well over 50 different brands in the store. So I'm really excited about that. And I just did a really great collaboration with Dolce Vita Shoes. They're owned by Steve Madden, and they launched a line of sustainable shoes.
Oh.
So to coincide with their line of sustainable shoes, they partnered with a sustainable brand, and so they're using my vintage and sustainable fashion with their shoes. So I'm really excited about that. And then I just got a couple of different grants from different women's entrepreneurial groups that are going to be mentoring me and assisting me over the next 12 months. So hopefully I'm going to say that within the next year, I'm going to be doing some really exciting things.
I must say, well, may I just rub a
some
little,
some exciting things are coming.
Yeah.
Some exciting things are coming.
I'm so happy for you. I mean, you're literally glowing. Can I just say that to you right now? From the inside.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Even though it's COVID and pandemic, I think I'm like literally the happiest I've ever been.
Let me tell
like
you.
ever. Yeah.
I feel you. I'm in my glory.
Yeah.
Despite everything that's going on in the world.
Because it's making you refocus, right?
It does.
Yeah.
And I keep looking for the good.
Good. Yeah.
That's what keeps propelling me. So where can everyone find you?
Well, our shop is located in Bed-Stuy. We are located at 409 Lewis Avenue, right here in Bed-Stuy. We are a couple of blocks from the AC train to Utica Avenue. You'll just walk up a few blocks, and the store is called The Collective at Indigo Style. You can also follow us on Instagram, which is our main form of social media, which is at Indigo Style Vintage, which is my personal vintage brand, or at The Collective at Indigo Style. So at The Collective at Indigo Style is for the entire store, and at Indigo Style Vintage is for my personal brand on Instagram. And then other than that, you can just follow us online, or you can go to our website, which is thecollective@indigostyle.com, or we also have Shop Thrilling. So if you go to Shop Thrilling, which is kind of like Etsy, but just for vintage clothing, if you like vintage, then if you go to Shop Thrilling, you can find Indigo Style on Shop Thrilling, and you can shop some of our vintage.
Wow, you can tell you've done this before. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No, thank you. This was great. I'm really appreciative that you thought of me.
Yes.
It's been amazing.
The people that give me life.
Inspiration.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think this is the end for us. I think there's more to come.
Yeah, we got to do something together, because you do a lot.
So I know we'll be doing something else.
Yeah.
Again soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know we're social distancing.
We're social distancing.
What are we doing?
This is it.
Thank you.
all right.
Love you. This was amazing.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming to the Collective.
Oh
at
my
Indigo
God.
Style.
I mean, can we take a peek? Actually.
Yeah, let's do it.